Okay, and let's take a quick look at 30, 60, 90 triangles. You should remember that 30, 60, 90 triangles have certain properties every single time. Here's a picture of one. This is a 30-degree angle. There's your right angle. So this is obviously 60 degrees up here. So this is a 30, 60, 90 triangle. And one of the things we learn about 30, 60, 90 triangles from the Pythagorean theorem is that the hypotenuse, you see here length 2 in this case, is always twice the short leg. This is length 1 in this case. Now this triangle could be scaled up or down, bigger or smaller, but that ratio would stay the same. The hypotenuse would always be twice the short leg as long as it was a 30, 60, 90 triangle. If that angle's 30 degrees and that's a right angle, the hypotenuse is twice the short leg. And then the long leg here, square root of 3, is always the square root of 3 times the short leg. So in this case, it's just the square root of 3 times 1. But if we scaled the triangle up bigger, say we made it twice the size, this would be 4, this would be 2, and this would be 2 root 3. So this would still be 2 times, or excuse me, this would still be square root of 3 times the size of this. So regardless of how big or small the triangle is, as long as it's a 30, 60, 90 triangle, those ratios will still be the same. So using that, we can think about the sine and cosine ratios for these angles. So let's look at the 30-degree angle first. The sine of an angle is always the opposite side over the hypotenuse. So in this case, that's 1 over 2. And if you wanted to write it as a decimal number, that would obviously be 0.5. And then the cosine of a 30-degree angle is always the adjacent side divided by the hypotenuse. So in this case, that's the square root of 3 over 2. The cosine of a 30-degree angle is square root of 3 over 2. And that is approximately equal to 0.866. Again, those digits go on forever, but rounded to 3 decimal places, that's 0.866. Okay, a 60-degree angle. This is 60 degrees up here. So the sine of a 60-degree angle is always the opposite side over the hypotenuse. This side here is opposite my 60-degree angle, and that is still the hypotenuse. So the cosine of 60 degrees is square root of 3 over 2. And again, we said that that's approximately equal to 0.866. And then the cosine of 60 degrees, what side is adjacent to the 60-degree angle? Well, it's this one. And then, of course, the hypotenuse is still 2. So the cosine of 60 degrees is 1 over 2. That equals 0.5. Now, you can memorize those, but it's better, I think, to just learn these facts, or hopefully you already knew these facts, that the hypotenuse is twice the short leg, and the long leg is square root of 3 times the short leg. These ideas all follow from those. It's likely, though, that you will run into these numbers down here so frequently that you will memorize them pretty easily. The sine of 30 degrees is 1/2, and the cosine of 60 degrees is 1/2. And the cosine of 30 degrees is square root of 3 over 2, and the sine of 60 is square root of 3 over 2. Those concepts will come up over and over again as we work through some more of the trigonometry material.